The idea of building a mosque near Ground Zero in Lower Manhattan is a very controversial one. Need proof? Well, on Friday night, President Obama weighed in, saying America's commitment to religious freedom requires that the mosque be allowed.
As a citizen and as president, I believe that Muslims have the right to practice their religion as everyone else in this country. And that includes the right to build a place of worship in a community center on private property in Lower Manhattan.
But yesterday in Florida, the president clarified those remarks with a comment that some say only muddied the waters.
I was not commenting, and I will not comment on the wisdom of making a decision to put a mosque there. I was commenting very specifically on the right that people have that dates back to our founding.
All right, so what do Americans think out there? The latest Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll finds 30% think it's appropriate to build a mosque near Ground Zero, but 64% say it's wrong. What about religion and its freedoms here in our country? Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate is Ibrahim Hooper, the National Communications Director for CAIR, and also Brett Joshby, an attorney with the American Center for Law and Justice. Welcome to you both, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ibrahim, I'd like to start with you. Does the president's comments Friday night and then clarification and further clarification we've gotten from the White House Press Secretary Bill Burton, does it hurt or help your cause if the president now feels like he's sort of on eggshells trying to explain this?
Well, I think the president has finally come out with a strong statement in support of American Muslim civil rights and civil liberties. I think it was time. For a few days there, his press secretaries were dodging the question, saying it was a local issue. But if you listen to talk radio around the country, if you read the editorial pages, letters to the editor, this is a national issue. It's a national campaign of disinformation designed to marginalize American Muslims and to demonize Islam. And the Muslim bashers that are behind the opposition to this center just seized on the legitimate emotions generated by the horrific 9/11 terror attacks.
Now, Brett, the American Center for Law and Justice has many times fought on behalf of religious freedoms in this country, not just for Christians. I mean, they want to see it for all religions. But you have filed a lawsuit specifically connected to this mosque and what happened with the vote before the Landmarks Preservation Commission. Tell us why.
Well, we feel that the Landmarks Commission allowed politics to infuse their deliberative process. If you look at other buildings in that exact vicinity, 2325 Park Place, for instance, was unanimously landmarked in 2007. So we feel that the commission allowed the politics of this issue to basically infect its decision. And Mr. Ibrahim is completely mischaracterizing this. This is not about Islamophobia. There are a lot of Muslims who have come out and said that this project is deliberately intended to provoke and to inflame. And so to cast this as an issue of bigotry or religious freedom is really just to construct a straw man. That is not what this is about.
If it's not Islamophobia, why is the world's premier hate monger, Geert Wilders, scheduled to speak at an anti-mosque rally in New York on the anniversary of September 11th? This is a man who has said ban the Quran. This is a man who has said fine Muslim women who wear hijab. This is a man who said end all Muslim immigration to the West. And unfortunately, Newt Gingrich is going to stand next to this man, this hate monger, at the rally on 9/11. One wonders if they're going to join in. One wonders if they're going to join in the Quran burning on that same day in Florida.
Brett, your response?
I think a lot of Americans want to know why you're standing next to a guy who refuses to condemn Hamas as a terrorist organization.
You know, any time a Muslim raises his head now in America, these hate mongers are going to hit him on the head. Imam Abdul Rauf is known as a proponent of interfaith dialogue, mutual understanding.
Okay,
and
if you are
to say
a proponent
that
of
he is the one that's under attack here is truly mind-boggling.
All right, let's give Brett a chance to respond.
If you're a proponent of interfaith dialogue, then I would suggest that you start taking into consideration the feelings of 70% of Americans who oppose this, many of the victims' families who oppose this.
And by the way, there are 9/11 families who are supportive of the center, and as you get closer to New York, support goes up in the polling.
Ibrahim, let's let Brett finish his thought. Yes, go ahead, Brett.
Can I add something about President Obama? You know, I think if the president wants to show some leadership on this issue, rather than taking a stance and then backtracking from it, which he has already done, which he also did in the Cambridge police controversy last year, I think the president should invite both sides to the White House to sit down and discuss this. If you guys want a dialogue, we're prepared to have a dialogue. Let's sit down and let's see if we can come up with a mutually acceptable resolution of the matter. And I think that the president would be well served to show some leadership on this issue, just like Governor Patterson has tried to do here in New York.
Well, anybody is able to make a proposal to those who are actually planning the mosque. We're not, my organization is not planning it. We're merely defending the American Muslim community from these smear merchants who are using this manufactured issue to bash Islam and Muslims.
That is a straw man. It's shameful, and you know it. Nobody is bashing Islam. Nobody is suggesting that we ban mosques or ban
I'm sorry, there
Islam.
are people suggesting we ban mosques. There are people.
Well, my organization certainly is not. What we're saying is that this project is inappropriate, given the time, given the circumstances, given the location. There are other places where you could go. Okay, this is deliberately provocative and inflammatory, and it's not right. That's
all right, gentlemen, we gotta leave it there. Ibrahim and Brett, we thank you both for a very spirited debate about this. It's not over. We'd love to have you back to hash it out again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.